Hey, this is Jordan,
This is Oly.
and this is the Real Cut podcast where we give you our unfiltered take on life.
Welcome,
Just kicking
everybody.
stuff this morning.
I know. See, I was breaking stuff down last time, and now you're doing it. So it's okay.
Balance.
Our last episode, I don't know if you caught it. I totally nailed the TV with my bill. On I'm wearing a hat for the people just listening.
Not dollar bills.
And yeah, the bill on my hat totally bumped the TV, which it's mounted. So it did this little swing. But
I did not notice that.
perfect. It never happened.
So,
Never
yeah,
happened. That was
yeah,
fake news, actually.
just made it
I
up.
just made it up
Full
off the cuff.
story.
Yeah.
Full story.
Yeah. Speaking of news,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Well, we were laughing about the Florida Man Challenge. And a lot of people, I'm shocked at how many people don't know what the Florida Man
Oh, it's one
Challenge
of the
is.
funniest challenges to do
I
it. Yeah.
know, it's so much fun. If you're ever on a long road trip or
Mhm.
whatever, everybody pull out your
Icebreaker.
phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
so but for anyone that doesn't know, the Florida Man Challenge is you open up Google and you type in Florida Man, and then you type in your month and your date of birth.
Correct.
And then you can read the first headline that comes up. And it's always something super wild because people in Florida are just wild.
There's always a Florida
They are
man doing
just
something.
feral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and men specifically, apparently, because it's Florida man. I mean, maybe we should change it up and try Florida woman this time
I'm actually
and
down.
see.
Should we
Yeah.
do one of each or just go straight
Let's
for
do one of
the
each. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. Let's see which
That's a
one.
good idea.
We'll take on which one's crazier. We'll see. It's the men,
Oh
Florida men versus
yeah.
Florida women right now. And so we'll do two each, right? We'll do one for your birthday, one for mine, for the man and women. And then we'll
Yeah.
see comparatively
Okay.
out of the four stories,
Yeah.
were the women crazier
Okay.
or were the men crazier?
Okay. Perfect.
But they're all
So,
Florida, so they're going to be crazy in general, right?
uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. So I'll Google mine. You Google yours? Okay.
Yes.
So we're doing man first.
Yes. Because that one, that's kind of the most well-known one. So,
January.
yeah, I have the one that came up to the top for mine.
Go ahead. I'm still pulling mine up.
All right.
Do we do the year too or just day?
Just the
month?
day and month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
what's yours?
All right. Mine is, so my birthday's June 24th. Florida man kills grandmother in nudist colony, drives around with her body for 5 hours.
What? That's pretty crazy. See,
Did he
so
break in? Was she a member of the
I
nudist?
have so many questions here. Yeah, because they specifically mentioned the nudist colony, right? So where does this
Yeah.
come into play? Did he put her nude body on his car, like on the hood, like an ornament, and then drive around with
No,
her?
it's in. Wait,
Or
hold on. It
was he trying to get into the passenger lane in the
Oh
freeway, and so he needed an extra body, so he put her in the extra seat?
no.
Is that
I
right?
mean, I could get that.
Right.
I could get behind that.
Sometimes you need to get somewhere.
Okay. Oh yeah, he killed his 74-year-old grandmother
Oh,
inside her nudist colony.
oh, okay.
So
So he wasn't a member as
grandma
well. He
was a
showed up.
nudist.
Was it okay? So was this like one of those moments where he showed up and he didn't expect to see his grandma naked, and the sight of her naked body drove him crazy, and he was like, "No, no, no, I can't take
he
this."
had a history of domestic
Oh, okay. So
violence.
he was just a messed up fella.
So, yeah,
Well,
that's
I mean,
sad. Oh, it looks like he had suffered traumatic brain injury when
oh,
he was younger. Oh,
well, that's too bad.
well, hopefully he's healing in his whatever center he's in. But
Wherever
yeah,
he's, I hope he's in a center
ooh, drove
somewhere.
around with her for 5 hours.
Well, on the lighter
You'd
side
think
of
he would have
news.
ran out of gas.
Well,
Did he have to get gas with her in there?
was it really an really economic car?
Mm, yeah,
I don't know how far some of those go. 5 hours is a
yeah.
long time. And if he did get gas, so was she propped up, like seatbelted in? Was she just laying
It
down the back
doesn't
and it's just, oh, that's my sick grandma,
say.
don't mind her?
Maybe in the trunk or something
Maybe
too.
that, and then you don't even know. You can't even see that grandma at that point.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
crazy.
Whew. All
So my
right.
so mine is Florida man in Easter Bunny outfit arrested after hit and run crash. Troopers say.
So was he like on his way to or from an Easter event, or was he just like chilling in an Easter bunny outfit, like in the middle? Wait,
Um,
what's your birthday?
oh, my birthday is January 24th.
Okay, so then he wasn't even near
No,
Easter.
not even really Easter. Yeah, this is like after New Year's. There's like the next one would have been Valentine's Day in February. Would have been the next one.
Huh.
So like a Cupid would make more sense and kind of be funnier.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so funny though. Hit and run, Easter bunny. I
and
mean,
apparently
yeah.
he was on a motorcycle as well.
Did he? No, they don't have to wear helmets there.
No, I don't think he was.
Man, he a hit and run. He's lucky to be alive, unless he was wearing a helmet. I mean, pretty smart.
That's crazy.
Man. All
Okay,
right.
so now let's make one little change. Put a whoa
Whoa,
in front
man.
of it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Mine's not quite as weird, but it's still not bad.
Okay, do you want to? If you want,
Okay, I'll go.
yeah.
Florida woman accused of walking into home, undressing, and then hugging and sitting on people. So, I mean,
I mean, we don't know where
yeah.
she's at. I don't know if I want her on top of my
Oh
house.
my. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well,
That is pretty random though. Who
yeah.
does that? So
I
she just showed up
mean,
to a house, got naked, and then started like trying to do Santa's laps.
yes.
Is the situation?
And yes, and I don't know why they specified this, but the people she was sitting on were 65 years or older. So I don't know if this was like a retirement home.
Must have been. So she showed up. Well, I mean, why would they not say that, right? Or a woman
No, it
gets
looks like
naked in
a
retirement home.
residence. How weird.
So maybe she had like
Okay.
maybe it was a Santa thing.
At least it
She
wasn't
was
like
trying
a
to find older
violent
men,
crime. Yeah.
65 or
It
older,
didn't say they were men. Like they were just people.
just people.
We don't know.
Mm,
She needs to go to grandma's
she
nudist
does.
colony,
That's
obviously.
where,
Like she's
see,
in the wrong
she's in the wrong
environment.
environment. 100%. We need to get her a nudist
She
colony.
needs to find grandma's
Well, and I
yeah.
know it's hot down there, and that might be why all these people are getting naked recently,
Is
because
yours too?
mine as well. The Florida woman drops pants, licks man, dances naked in Waffle House parking lot.
Huh. Yeah. Licks the
Licks man.
like his face. Lick. Huh.
Let me find out. Here we go. So, a Florida woman was arrested after she undressed and danced around a Waffle House,
Waffle horse.
yeah, Waffle Horse parking lot.
Well, that's well,
Oh, she just couldn't manage. She blew my lid out on the sayings or
my gird. It's a
or my
word.
oh my god. It's a rough one. She gotta take my wafers. That's the only way now to describe waffles is
Wordles.
werfels. I
That's you.
gotta
Even
go.
after spending the night with a girl, you're gonna like pop around the corner and be like, "Would you like some Wordles?"
Let's take some werfels, baby.
She's like, "I'm going now.
She's like, did you just have a stroke?
Never
What just
mind."
happened? Like, man, glitch
Like, you
out.
must call them Wordles. It's
That's
my hope.
what we call them here, darling. Is werfels.
Okay.
They're sweeter than normal ones. No, let's see, but Freedom Rider. Oh, okay. So the name is Freedom Rider Zobrist.
That's the lady's
That's the
name.
lady's name. So I feel like
Freedom Rider.
she only had so
It's her
many
like real
options.
name,
That's
Freedom Rider.
that's. I mean, that's what it reads as.
Wow. That's
She
a
was 38.
glorious name though.
Yeah.
Freedom. I'm Freedom
Freedom Rider
Rider.
Zobrist. Zobrist.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Zobrist? I don't know. Zobrist?
Yeah, Zubrist, yeah.
Zobrist.
I feel like she should be like riding the waffle horse into the sunset.
She was a
Freedom
waffle
Rider.
horse. You know, I almost want to make a waffle horse now. And make some waffles. And then make him a little horse.
Yeah.
um
A Werfel.
Waffle. This is my horse, Waffle. I'm trying to see how
She was
that's
looking
the
down
worst
the
to
on his
leave.
cheek or something.
That's where I want to find later return to so she verbally abused the employee. She also threatened to get a gun and shoot the man in the face along with the restaurant. So she got, crazy, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so after the whole conversation, she walked out to the parking lot, pulled down her pants, exposing her sexual organs, as they call them.
Yeah.
Then began dancing around the parking lot, so she was giving a show.
Mm-hmm.
With her pants down, she walked up to the Waterfall House horse
Of course.
employee and licked both sides of his face. It says, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so for some reason I just like knew she probably licked his face, like
yeah, it had to have been
both
face,
sides
right?
of his face.
Both
That poor
sides.
guy.
That's disgusting. Yeah, like, and well,
He probably has
but
nightmares to
you
this day.
know, if she got off both sides of the face, I think he probably was okay with it.
Like he turned the other cheek.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Look, and he took his advice
Yeah.
from the Lord,
Yep.
from at the Waffle House.
Mm,
From
funny.
the Lord at the Waffle House. Said
Yeah.
turn the other cheek.
Mm-hmm.
When the crazy lady in the Waffle House parking lot licks your
Yep.
cheek, you
You
turn the
turn
other
the other
cheek.
cheek. Yeah. Definitely a verse about that.
So,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
okay, so
Good to know, just in case that ever happens
it's
to us.
I would say keep the same cheek pointed and moonwalk away.
Yeah.
Just try to get
And if you don't know why I sang that, listen to the episode
yeah,
for this.
so for this and you'll understand. But that's so great. Okay, so we had one one lady get naked. What did yours do
Yeah.
again?
The same.
Okay, so the ladies just get naked. Oh yeah, and she was
Yeah.
sitting on people's laps.
Yeah.
Mine was dancing in the parking lot, licking
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
And then the Waffle House men, or no, the Florida man. I just expect them all to be at Waffle House.
I
Cousin,
know.
that's another one. Okay, we're gonna change it up.
Okay.
Okay, so first off, who do you think we're crazier? Let's finish that out. The men or the women?
I would say the
The
men.
men. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. It got
Like,
like physical and crazy and stuff like that.
yeah.
Not to say that it's not okay to be, you shouldn't be indecently exposing yourself and licking
Right.
people. That's not right either.
Yeah.
But agreed. So let's switch this up though.
Okay.
Let's call it the Waffle House search.
Okay.
And same thing, except your date of birth and Waffle House.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's see if we get any good ones from this. Because there's always like, you know what I'm talking about, right? There's always like, you hear about fights and stuff like that.
Have you ever been to a Waffle
I
House?
have not, but I've heard they're great.
Same here.
I'm not like I've heard they're not like gourmet or anything, but it's like one of those things you have to like stop by and try.
Yeah. Okay. Why isn't it?
I was just talking about good food. Okay, so maybe this isn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Dang. Nope. No good ones.
No, I would have thought it would have been. Oh well. Well,
It's all
you guys
right.
heard
Well, we need, if anyone's listening to
Full
this,
House
what's
employee
another?
catches chair midair.
Oh, probably from the licking lady.
It could be.
Probably from Freedom Rider.
Freedom Rider. Freedom Rider's like, you know what? Well, she was free that
Oh,
day.
yes, she
She was.
was.
She
Oh
got a
my
ride somewhere,
gosh.
I'm sure.
That's wild. Yeah. If anybody else has a good search like that,
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I hear that that's like
give
so
it
with
to
the
us.
Florida big Milton. Is it Milton that's down there right now, the
Oh
hurricane?
yeah, yeah.
Um, this guy, a friend of mine was telling me that they have a saying down there that when hurricanes come through, that if the Waffle House isn't closing, we're not going anywhere. It's kind of the idea. Yeah,
Okay.
and like a lot
It's
of like
like
we'll
the
gauge it by that.
cockroach of,
Yeah,
like, it
absolutely.
doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
always
moving.
open.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
And so that tells them whether they need to actually leave or not.
That's great. Great
Yeah.
gauge of things. Well, to switch it up a little bit though, that was pretty entertaining.
Agreed.
But you've been kind of creating a movement, like a almost like a challenge online. And you have
Yeah.
been for the last, I'd say, like a year or so, but When we were running yesterday, you were telling me how you were starting to get like messages about this challenge.
Yeah, it kind of started incidentally, or not incidentally, coincidentally, or well, I started posting really for myself
Yeah.
to keep myself kind of motivated and going.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that my vanity, if I'm telling other people I'm doing something,
Mm-hmm.
that they'll not expect it from me per se, but that I'll keep myself going. It's
Yeah.
something that motivates me, right? I set up this false expectation, like people expect to see me doing it, even though probably no one really cares.
Yeah.
But in that same sense, it has actually become something that I didn't expect it to become at all.
Right.
And so simply just if you guys follow me on my Instagram at all, you've seen this every day or most days. I know I miss it from time to time. I'll post a picture and I'll say, did you move? And really simply it was for me. It was me kind of reminding myself every day, did you move? And as
Yeah.
long as I put that picture out, that was me answering my own question.
Yeah. And
Right.
usually you're like at the gym or on a run
Right. I've done
or
something
whatever.
active.
It's your like workout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A little update photo. And there is some vanity, right? Because like I'm looking my best at that moment. I feel like
Yeah.
right after you work out, you've got all your pump. And and I've had tons of people actually start to write into me and tell me, "Hey, I really appreciate that you posted this. I've been thinking about moving lately as well, and either gaining weight or dropping weight or just
Mm-hmm.
getting my cardio better. Or, I used to swim in high school and I want to swim again now."
Yeah.
And really it started when we started training for the Ironman and prepping more
Mm-hmm.
for that, right?
Yeah.
And it was a way to keep me going. And so all these
Yeah.
other people have been seeing it and they're writing into me now and they're saying, "Hey, thanks so much. Like you've encouraged me to get back into my movement and to get back
Mm-hmm.
into my things. And now I'm going to be doing this." And I've had people write to me and be, "Oh, hey, I signed up for a triathlon. Like they're going to be at the Beaver Freezer,
Oh,
and everything,
yay.
which is great. And that's a great
Uh-huh.
entry level one." And so it's really been monumental in that sense, because not only does it help me with my persistence
Yeah.
and keeping moving forward, but it's helping other people as well. And I
Yeah.
love that because when we were talking earlier, or was it last episode, I think maybe about taking care of yourself. It was
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the reference back into that, I mean, that goes all over, right? And there's a part of like I'm not even saying you need to work out to the point where you're Arnold Schwarzenegger or you're
Right.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Just moving in general. Did you get out and walk?
Yeah.
Did you have some type of movement, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
not just sitting on our butts all day,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Because even if you sit at, like you're doing it for a job, like I'm not saying you're necessarily even being lazy. Some of us
Yeah.
have to sit
We
for our
settle.
work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I respect that. But that's when you have to even go more so, okay, it's lunch. I should be walking on my lunch then
Yeah.
because I'm sitting the rest of the day,
Yeah.
and so like you have to
Yeah.
pick those times to be up and active. And so I love seeing that from other people as well and making those decisions to better themselves because every time somebody has come to me and said that now,
Yeah.
I've watched a change in like their Instagram posts. I've watched a
Mm-hmm.
change in their stories, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's starting to feel a little bit better, a little bit
Yeah.
happier, they're a little bit more proud of
Yeah.
themselves. They'll start posting stuff about themselves. And it's
Mm-hmm.
such a positive movement. And I love that. And I would love to like to keep that going like in so many ways. Like I know I've talked to you tons of times about like starting our own 5K or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just been great because it makes me want to continue going as well. And I think everybody should do it. I would love to see other
Yeah.
people start posting the "Did you move?" Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
should go one day like coin it. I don't know
Yeah.
if
Work
that's
on
something you
it.
can even do. Because
Uh-huh.
I'm Paris Hilton. I think she like has the phrase like "that's hot."
Yeah, you can like basically it's like an IP, it's intellectual property.
Okay.
And so yeah, you can I don't remember if it's copyright or I think it's
Well,
copyright, but it's
well,
something like that.
how
Yeah.
dare you if
Yeah.
you're wrong?
I know.
Well, somebody will let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
absolutely.
but yeah.
But it's just been great, and it's become way like the amount of people who have contacted me now. It's funny how I set out to do something for myself,
Yeah.
and almost in a selfish way, for being honest, not in a bad selfish way, right?
Yeah.
Because I think bettering yourself in any way is always good.
Yep.
Um, but it really wasn't to inspire anyone. You know
Right.
what I mean in
Yeah.
that sense. And
Just like
now,
yourself.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know when I see it, I always like if I haven't done my workout for the day or if I haven't been because I don't work out every day, but
right.
I do try to stay active, like
Hmm.
at least get 10,000 steps just from my day.
Yeah,
I
moving
get a
around.
lot more than that if I go on a walk or run. But
Yeah, we usually get those like on
yeah,
the run.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah. But there are days where I work 12, 13 hours and I am sitting. So it's like I do need to like make my phone calls while I'm walking or
That's really smart.
whatever. But yeah, when I see that, I always ask myself, like, because it's automatically like a question to myself, did I move today? And so
See,
it's
that's really
like,
cool to hear.
but I know we are talking about it yesterday, like it can be inspiring to many, and hopefully it is. But anytime it's something like that, it causes people to self-analyze. And if they didn't do the thing, which many of us didn't, but
Right.
if it's causing that person to feel like they have no intention of bettering themselves, but they feel like guilty about it and but don't want to better themselves and don't want to grow, they might not like that. You posted that.
Right, because it's putting it in their face, right? That they're
Yeah.
not doing what they should be doing, not should be
Yeah.
doing, maybe even want to be doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of times where I know I've been hindered by things that I want to
Mhm.
do, right? And I
Yeah.
make up excuses or reasons I can't
Yeah.
and find ways I can't do it rather than finding ways I can, you know?
Yeah.
And I think you're right.
But
Mm.
you're finding people that like it does kind of push them over the edge to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to there was a while where I was plugging the gym I was going to as well.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people start showing up to that gym and start
Mhm.
going to that gym. And not to say that I'm a direct result, but like kind of I know that like I know that a couple of them are because they told me. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
That's
So
so
it's not even
cool.
just like I know it just
I
sounds
love
cocky,
that.
but it's like confirmed stuff,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
As somebody who used to be a personal trainer,
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody who I fully believe in fitness, and
Yeah.
anytime I see anybody moving of any body type, I
Yes.
am so encouraging and I love it
Right.
because I think it is so amazing for not even on a physical aspect, but it's the
Yeah.
mental aspect people don't think
Mhm.
about as well.
Right.
Like obviously, yes, like I'm not gonna lie, I lift so I look good naked. That's the only
Mhm.
reason.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not the
That's
only,
just a great
but
byproduct.
exactly, but like really, really though, like the only reason I lift like is the mental side of it. Like I
Mhm.
can tell when I haven't gone in a couple days,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And I know that when my mentality is lower, usually I
Mhm.
eat a little worse,
Yeah.
right? I don't go on my workouts or do some of that stuff. We
Yeah.
don't take care of ourselves as
Mhm.
well, right?
Right.
Which, and so to see some of these people in those slumps and then see them pull themselves out of it. And it's just
Mhm.
because I posted a picture of one of my workouts.
Yeah.
Like it's such a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how can
Exactly.
I not like
Yeah.
keep doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? How could I stop doing it now? Like if it's really encouraging people to be better,
Yeah.
like how could like that's and I don't
Mhm.
really feel like I'm doing anything, if we're
It's
being
just what you're already
honest.
doing. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's the cool thing. Maybe we may do something with that later and
Yeah.
keep that movement going. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
to be building pretty well right now.
Yeah.
Um,
But follow him on social and you'll see it for yourself
yeah,
and
Ollie's
give him
cuts.
your feedback.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And so that's been a great movement. That's been a lot of great work to put in as far as like, I mean, I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, a year and a half.
Wow. That's
Coming up in
awesome.
December, will be a year and a half. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just even doing that little bit every day is like really powerful. I know when I know obviously we talked about mental health 2 episodes ago,
Right,
so
right.
we covered a lot of this.
We'll probably talk about
But I mean, but
it.
it's just
Yeah.
part of our lives, you know what I
Truly,
mean? It
yes.
makes us our best self to recognize that stuff and then know how to combat it. And so
Right.
obviously fitness is a great way to combat like kind of the negativity of having mental health like
Absolutely.
diagnoses, but also like how to just make ourselves better. But
Right.
anyways, but yeah, like I do have like typically about one like really rough week a month from my diagnosis. And so it's really hard to get out and move. And so it does help to see that. And, and I have found that just going on a walk helps me on those because it's really hard to even just get to the point where you're going to start your workout. Like it's
Absolutely.
really hard to just like get yourself
I think
to
that's
the
number
run,
one for
to the
most
gym.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
is
like
getting
once
over
you're
the hump.
there,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, easy.
You feel great
Why
afterwards.
is getting there so
It's
hard,
the
you know?
hardest
And
part.
I know we're going to talk in a minute about pushing through and persevering, but yeah, like getting myself there is really, really hard. And I'm so like, and you're this way too, when you're
Mhm.
like a high D personality, high driver, like very much all or nothing. And so it's like we don't just meet expectations, we have to far exceed the expectations of
Even
our
if there
own
aren't, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
our own in our head. And so
It's like-
yeah, and like we hold ourselves to a very high level. So when we
absolutely.
do work out, it's like go 110. But I've had to learn on my rough weeks, I feel a lot better if I am active, but I don't feel like I should be active. So learning how to give
Right.
myself grace and be like, a walk is fine because
Oh, not having to go the 110.
yeah,
That the 80
like
is
a
okay
walk
that week.
is fine.
Yes.
And I'm, you know, this is better than nothing. And, you know, because my natural tendency is all or nothing. So it's
Right.
like, if I can't run and give it my all, I might as well just do nothing. But that makes me go deeper into the hole.
100%.
So it's
Yeah.
like, even a little bit, even if it doesn't feel like anything or it hardly feels like it will be worth it, it makes a huge difference. Just a little walk, like whatever, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and there's so much science behind that. I mean, a lot of our mental health, like all kinds of feelings and things, like you can feel them physically.
Yeah.
They do bottle up,
Yeah.
like that's why bottle up is a term, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can feel the pressure inside of you a lot of times. And I think a lot of us don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're feeling off and stuff like that, and we don't work
Yeah.
out and we're having bad days, we're like, why do I just feel this angst and anxiety? And it's like, man, if you went and
Yeah.
lifted some weights or maybe walked or done
Yeah.
just something like
Yeah.
you might throw a
Yes.
frisbee around with a friend, like whatever, like
Uh-huh.
you might feel a little
Yeah.
bit better afterwards. And that's because you're actually moving that physical like side out of you.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that your worries are just going to go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it will help alleviate some of the stress with it.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I love that we talked about the mental health side of it. Like, I actually had
Yeah.
like, so s- kind of similar, but not. Um, I've had a couple of guys reach out to me recently,
Yeah.
and even because I'm very open about how I do counseling once a week and I work on myself
Mhm.
mentally and physically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I'm a great person, but I have things I can work on. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like
That's
knock
fine.
myself, but I'm
No.
not, I know also that I have things that I can work on,
Mhm.
and and thankfully I'm so happy because I feel like there's a lot of stigmatism around it, like we've talked
Mhm.
about, and a couple of them reached out even and been like, "Hey, who's your guy?"
Yeah.
Or what did, do you have a place to start?
Yeah.
And they're looking
Yeah.
into counseling now as well. And that makes me so happy
Yeah.
because
That's
just
so cool.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like these are things I would have been like scared to talk about prior. And now they're
Mhm.
like causing these movements and people bettering themselves not only
Yes.
physically but mentally and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
That's so
awesome.
awesome.
And it's kind of funny like what we almost tell ourselves we can't do,
Mhm. I
you know?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like also just like goes to show the importance of sharing and like social media is
Right.
a great place to share it even though it's scary and like I know I worry about what will people think of me if I share something that looks like a weakness, but it's
Right.
truly like showing great strength and can
Absolutely.
help so many.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, as an autistic person, that was something like that was worrisome for me, and people being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he's not going to
Yeah.
be like
I'm
capable
not
or
gonna go to
able."
him
Yeah,
for cuts anymore.
yeah, right. Oh, he's
I'm
got
always
feelings and
worried about
emotions.
yeah, I know. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I know I do worry about that too with you know, mental health diagnosis. Um like nervous to talk about it because you know, afraid that people will think that it affects my level of, you know, service and work and professionalism,
Right.
which it never does. In fact, it probably makes it better because
Yeah.
I'm very intense about it and very laser focused on it.
Right.
So, kind of my challenge is remembering to for self care, family
Mhm.
care, time to myself. But as far as like work goes, 110,
Right. And
150%.
that's the best part of it. Yeah, you're gonna
It's
laser in
always
on it.
finding those balance, you know, finding balance. So,
Absolutely.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. How do you find like how do you find like the balance and time to work out? Like what's like kind of a normal day for you as a, you know, barbershop owner?
Well, so it's either morning or night.
Mhm.
Um, And so I've tried doing like midday workouts. For me, they don't work.
Okay.
I know some people can go and do it on their lunch. Um, I have I have sensory needs. I can't go and work out. Well, plus, okay, so we'll take the sensory needs out of it actually, because I
Yeah.
can I can work out a little bit and do like a quick wipe down.
Yeah.
But I do usually like it's a timeline thing as well. Like the hour's not
Mm-hmm.
long enough because most of my workouts are at least an hour. So then when you add in
Okay.
drive time or changing,
Right.
it's just not even worth it really.
Yeah.
And I don't like rushed workouts. I've tried them. They're
Mm-hmm.
not for me.
Okay.
Some people like their 15-20 minute workouts they get in. That's great.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. But I've also recently adapted an area that if I'm like jumping around, like if you don't need your break between sets, you're not lifting heavy enough. Um,
Oh, okay.
is kind of
Yeah.
the idea.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
you need to have that time
Right.
because you want to work out hard enough to need those little breaks in
In
between.
between the sets.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that
And that's
makes
the whole
sense.
idealism. So, and that's not wrong.
So
If you're
rushing
looking
a
to
workout doesn't mean you're lifting the
your
most you
best.
can. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other workout. If you're looking to tone and you want to do lighter weight with more reps,
Okay.
that's a
Yeah.
different thing,
Right.
right?
And something is better than nothing,
Agreed.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not bad, but that's where I've realized that I'm either going to get it in either in the morning or at night. When we're doing our
Mm-hmm.
doubles, I do both,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I've gotten off the doubles a little bit here or there. I've done them a little bit, but I'm not exactly back in the Ironman routine. Not until like
Right.
January is when I like really. I
Yeah.
think January, February is
Mm-hmm.
when we're ready to like dial it in.
Yep.
Um, but usually it's most mornings. That's if I'm my elite routine, I guess I
Yeah.
should call it. If I'm
Yeah.
doing what I want to be doing,
Yeah.
I wake up early. I wake up at 5:30 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I get up and I get to the gym by 6, and I'm working out till about 7:30.
Yeah.
That's a great workout for me, and then I'm going back, and usually by that time, my son's up and ready for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can take a shower and get ready, and we'll leave, and I'll drop him off at school and come to work and
Yeah.
work out.
Uh-huh.
If that doesn't work out, then it kind of changes because again, recovery timeline. So if I miss my morning, I'll work out after work at night,
Yeah.
but then that whole week turns into night workouts
Yeah.
because you don't have enough recovery timeline during the sleep
Mm-hmm.
timeline to the next morning, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's that going 110. Like I look into like
Yeah.
the muscle recovery timeline and all
Right.
this, like yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And
Okay.
so, um, but that's the thing too is when we're talking about running,
Yeah.
even if I do shoulders in the morning, if I go and run at night, like yes, my body's already worn down from the day and the
Yeah.
shoulders, but then my legs are ready. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
whole different muscle set.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're talking cardio and stuff. So but that's kind of that how that looks overall.
Do you take like a rest day?
Saturdays
Mhm.
are generally my only rest day.
Yeah.
So Saturdays, because um, I Monday through Friday I wake up early and I'm gonna or do the nighttime. Right.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I'm off, s- um, by the time I'm off on Saturdays, my gym like closes in an hour. They close really
Oh,
early on
okay.
Saturdays. I don't understand why. Like to
Yeah.
me, it doesn't make sense. It's like
Yeah.
most people I feel are going to be up later on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But most people probably have things they're doing that are fun and awesome
Yeah.
on Saturdays, not trying to
Mm-hmm.
go to the gym like me. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't do anything, and then we run on Sundays, and so
Yeah.
I don't lift on Sundays per se,
Yeah.
but we're still out being active.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Yeah.
then I don't run or anything on Saturday nights because I know we're gonna run on Sunday morning
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
really, I guess Saturday's the only day I take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
Yeah,
about you?
that's a pretty dialed in routine. Mine's a little more like sporadic and reactional, I guess.
Okay.
We have our standing Sunday morning run.
Okay.
Obviously, when
Yeah.
we're training, when we're kind of, yeah, like around January, we're going to start. So that will be here before. We'll probably up it
It's gonna be
to
so close.
twice a week. And then as we get
Mhm.
closer to July, we're going to be throwing in some swimming,
Mhm.
quite a lot of biking.
A lot of
I
biking.
need to get a lot more biking experience, but
Right. There's a
um
trail up in it's called the Century Trail. If you guys know
mhm.
about it, you should write in and tell her how amazing it is. I want to go up there. I've
Okay.
heard great things. Mari actually
Okay.
said it's awesome. It's all trail,
Yeah.
but when I say that, I mean like concrete.
Mhm. Okay.
And so we won't be on the road. It's
Mhm.
like 100 miles or something like that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's an area that's like you could get some good
Absolutely.
speed on and
We
good.
definitely need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, so but in a typical season, so off season, I guess, from triathlon, just the Sunday morning run, and then pretty much anytime I have an appointment cancel, or a time where I just need to make phone calls or something like social media, something that I can do mindlessly. I'll do a walk, and I live in the hills, so
Yeah, you do.
my walks are they work me out just as much as a flat run because I walk very fast and it's like pretty steep.
When you add that incline,
Yeah,
it changes
yeah,
everything.
yeah. And I know where to walk, so it's a ton of inclines. Like I know the
Perfect.
order. And then if I run, it's typically like a 2 to 3 mile run. It's kind of like that's usually if I get like an appointment cancellation, I can do that.
Right.
And then I enjoy doing the 75 hards as we've talked about. So right now, a lot of like yoga, which really helps with neck pain, shoulder pain. So
Yoga's
I need to
amazing,
do
by
it
the way.
always. It's like I always intend to do it all the time, and unless I'm doing 75 hard, it's not consistent. And I'm like, why am I this way?
It's something I need to get into.
Yeah.
I tried it once. I had an
Hmm.
ex-girlfriend who taught it
Yeah.
actually, and I made fun of her about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you should work out. And she's like, I did yoga. I was like, no, we should work out
Like
though.
that's not. It's like
Yeah.
how people are like cheerleading's not a sport.
Yeah. Cheerleading is crazy.
Yoga's not a sport or
Yeah.
a workout.
Right. That's the same thing.
It
No,
is.
it's crazy. So she's
Yeah.
like, well, let's do some together. I go, oh, great.
Hmm.
I got this all day. I'm strong. I was a
It
wrestler. I'm flexible.
it's balance.
It's
It's body
insane.
weight.
Yeah, I
It's
was falling
yeah.
over. Like I was
Yeah.
not able to hold poses she was holding, looking at me like, "What's
Yeah.
up, little boy?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry." And but it was the same thing. Like you're right, cheerleading as well. Like you said, that's a great like.
Hmm.
I dated some cheerleaders in high school, and I remember the first competition I went to
Yeah.
because I was like making fun of them.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's the competition going to be like?" You guys gonna be like, "Who yelled louder?" Like what?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And she just looked at me like, "You're an asshole."
Like,
I was like,
but dance and cheerleading, that's a lot of
a
work.
lot of work. Well, and the throws
Oh,
and everything,
yeah.
like it gets insane. Like
Yeah.
if
I've
you've never seen a
never
cheerleading competition, right now,
go
you
watch
go
one.
watch
Drop
YouTube it.
everything
Drop
and go to a
everything you're
cheerleading
doing.
competition. Grab yourself some Wurfels
Some Werfels and some chicken.
and go to a
Good.
cheerleading competition.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
never been to any of them,
Nothing
but
more
I've seen
American than
cheerleaders.
some Waffle House and some chicken in a
That's right.
cheerleading
Call
competition.
yourself Freedom Rider and let's
Freedom.
go.
That's that's my new alias.
Oh
Like
my gosh. Can
if I
we
ever
get
go
Freedom
anywhere,
Rider
Freedom
shirts with
Rider.
like a
I can make
waffle?
those. I can make those. We're gonna make them. Freedom
Oh
Rider.
my gosh. But yeah, so I mean it's a great workout and like legit like neck
Yeah,
and shoulder pain goes away.
really.
After like 3 days of it, it'll go away. So it's
Wow.
like if I keep it
I need to
consistent.
do that then.
Hmm.
I've got like from barbering, I've got like this
Oh, I
one
can't
to my
imagine.
left all the way
Hmm.
down.
Yeah. Yep. So and then it's like computer for me
Well,
or
that makes sense, yeah.
yeah.
Those are
Hmm.
good things.
So that one's pretty consistent. But yeah, it's like the runs and walks when I can. They're all different lengths. I'm just kind of one of those people, but I have to be intentional about it. So it's like the
Right.
minute something clears up, or if I can kind of like time block it in early in the morning, then I take advantage of it.
That's so
And
cool.
so I find myself working out at least once a day in this way.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like worst case, I do like because for in real estate, anyone that's in real estate, I can send them a copy of my calendar. Like it's no big deal, but like a lot of my
Right.
what?
It's no big. I've seen your calendar. We're talking the
Well,
multicolored, like multi-appointment
the,
listing
but like a lot of my day is like
blocked out.
maybe meetings that I can yeah. Oh, the whole day's
The
blocked
whole day
out.
is blocked out.
But like, like I have a couple hours where I'm just following up on, leads
Right.
or I'm having a meeting with someone or a consultation or like a lot of it I can do from my phone
Okay.
and I don't need a computer. Like it's just talk. And so yeah, so I use those times and I go on a walk and I'll talk to someone. I'm like, hey, just to warn you, I'm gonna be really out of breath. I'm just on a walk. That is why. And literally 100% of people are like, awesome, cool, no, or I'm on
Yeah,
a
they don't
walk
care.
too, or
Yeah,
whatever. So it's not a huge deal right there. And then I'm able to get some steps in. So yeah. So mine's a little more reactive,
that makes sense.
but I think you just find what works well for you with your industry. Oh, and
Well, yeah.
I'm a middle of the day workout person. That's what I
Okay.
prefer.
Middle of the day.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I prefer morning, middle of the day. Nighttime,
I hate
not a
nighttime. I
fan.
won't do it unless
Yeah,
I'm doing 75 hard and haven't got my second workout in.
right.
I won't do it.
That's the thing. Like if it's like I've gotten a lot of nighttime workouts in. Like tonight, I missed
Hmm.
this morning. I'm gonna go tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Props to you.
yeah, well, and there's just so many like so there's just gym culture even like so the morning people are there to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole difference in culture between the nighttime people and the morning people, and because like every now and then I see some morning people at night. You know
Yeah.
what I'm going to, and we're like, I missed the morning on. They're like, yeah, and we talk
Yeah.
about the difference. Like there's nighttime. The morning people are people who have things to do in that day.
Okay.
They're there. They're waking up early. They're
Yeah.
making it
They're
happen.
very
They're motivated.
intentional. Yeah.
Yes, the intentional. Exactly, right? Like they're getting in to do their workout and they care enough to wake up early enough to get in to do their
Yeah.
workout,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they're going to get that workout in and then they're going to get going because they have a job, kids, whatever,
Right.
things to get to.
Right.
People at night, they're
Hmm.
lackadaisical. No.
Lackadaisical.
Yep, that's the word.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical. So
Lackadaisical.
they're lazy. All these lackadaisical
That
people.
sounds like a dinosaur or
It's
something.
yeah. Oh, it's a
This is
dinosaur.
the ancient lackadaisical.
He didn't make it very long as he didn't wasn't able to graze or hunt very well.
Yeah, and he was lazy and only tried to eat at night.
He
And
had
he's
wings
extinct.
technically, but he walked because he was too lazy to fly.
Only went to the gym
It's
at
like a
night.
pterodactyl,
Did
but
not wake up early.
lazy dactyl. So,
Lackadaisical.
lackadaisical
Yeah,
is the correct way. So
yeah,
they're very lackadaisical
yeah, yeah,
and they're just, having their fun. Like you have some
mhm,
younger people as well who are
yeah,
just, kind of there to like hang out and do whatever.
yeah,
Um, and it's just frustrating as somebody who's trying to get in and get things done.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
already going to be there a long time.
Yeah.
So like any amount of time that pushes out just pushes my whole time even more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem sharing stuff. Like it's
Hmm.
different as well. If somebody's on the machine and they're using it and they're actually
Yeah.
making things. I don't
Right.
have
Of
any issue with
course.
that, right?
Yeah.
It's when you have five guys standing around having a conversation in front of a machine
Yeah.
for 20, 30 minutes. And you're
Oh.
like, I've already done three other workouts trying to like not do that one. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
You're trying to be polite.
right.
Oh,
It's like, okay, dude,
yeah.
it's like get out of the way. Like go it's fine you want to talk. There's a bar section over like go sit over
Yeah.
there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
talk. Like
That
like I
makes
don't
sense.
care.
So that's like normal at
Oh yeah,
nighttime.
the nighttime, like, oh, and
Mm.
there's all these like people are hitting on each other as well.
Oh
It's a whole
man.
like meat market.
It's
It's
like the
completely
club.
different too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Like, and I noticed it when I was working out. I didn't notice it as much. Like there were a
Okay.
couple girls that hit on me, and we talked about it. And there's one of those moments
Yeah.
where like "Ooh, they were hitting on me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, no, I didn't realize. And then I started to really realize it last year when I was training for Ironman, and I would go
Hmm.
to run at night because
Yeah.
I would go and I would just be doing cardio for like an hour and a half
Yeah.
because there was a point where I was doing like 45 minutes on the bike, then 45-minute running. And so I
Hmm.
was there for almost 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And you're just in place doing one thing, right? So you just start
Yeah.
people watching.
Yeah.
That's what you do. And it was crazy because it wasn't only the men, it was the females too. Guys
Uh-huh.
and girls were both doing it. Like they
Yeah.
would go up and you'd see it, like you'd see them go talk and then both phones pop out. And you know what I mean? And you know what they're
Oh,
doing. They're exchanging
yeah.
numbers and all that, right? And then like
Okay.
you'd see two girls like pumping each other up and then they go, or a
Uh-huh.
guy, and all that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's a whole like little like, thing. And
Yeah.
then and it's just completely different because in the morning, like people talk like, but
Hmm.
everybody, it's not like you don't see people hitting on each other. It's
Yeah.
more of like, hey, good to see you,
They're
man. What
there
are you
to
working out today?
GSD and then they're
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
like, oh, look, we matched today. How funny, something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah. Huh.
And I love that because like where I usually won't ever approach a girl in
Hmm.
the gym like ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't even really like asking if they're using a piece of equipment because I don't want to like I have this huge thing of like I'm a dude in a gym. I know there's
Yeah.
creepy dudes out there that are
Yeah.
doing creepy things. You know what I mean? Or like I
Hmm.
just don't want to be one of those guys. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to even be I know I'm not going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to be confused for one of
Right.
those guys.
Yeah.
Let me say
Yeah.
that. And so like I'm one of the like I'm like wow that's a real nice wall right there.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking out, like if a girl walks by,
Yeah.
wow, that's sure do have a ground. You look at
Yeah.
that ground, yeah, like, just on purpose. So like, there's no even like confusion. You know what I mean? They're like, he was
Yeah.
looking at my ass. So
Right. Yeah.
like so, like, and so I'm sure it even like I've even like missed opportunity because like girls will come work out by me, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's a wall, yeah, and so anyways, but but so it's a completely different environment, and it's just
Yeah,
crazy to see.
interesting.
And then as well, you see people that continue on,
Mm-hmm.
or like I've been working out there long enough now. Like I know
Yeah,
the people who like,
like how far they've come.
yeah, like
Yeah,
there's people how far they've come, or
that's
people
so
who are
cool.
committed or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you see people you see sprinkled in every now and then,
Yeah.
right? And
Uh-huh.
so, and then like it's become this whole gym environment. Like I met like a guy that you work in a similar
Mm-hmm.
field with,
Yep.
and we saw each other a bunch prior to that, but
Yeah.
you don't have a reason to talk to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
As two guys. But that is the cool thing I'll say about working out in the gym is that um more people in the morning as well are willing, like there's more camaraderie,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's like I still have certain people I see at night and I'm very happy
Uh-huh.
to see them.
Yeah.
We high five and we talk for a second. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Right.
but there is like, I don't know, it's just
You're
different. Like,
all of like mind, kind of.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just what it is. I fit in more with the morning people.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that
Yep.
might be the difference too.
Yeah.
Um, maybe I'm just that old man now, you know what I mean? Gotta get my workout in the morning,
I
in
think it's
bed by
good that you
5.
take it seriously, though,
I agree.
So, and
Yeah.
is also good that you go at night if needed.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's a big thing for my mental health. Well, and the keeping going. Like I know that with me, if I let it's good to have moments and times where you say, maybe not today,
yeah.
right? Like this is something we've talked about that I'm learning. I know that you're learning as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is to say, if I do 80 today, it's still okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
not a
Because
horrible
it's
piece of crap.
not zero.
Exactly.
It's not zero.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where I've been trying to get to with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
I think is kind of the thing, but also
Yeah.
realizing like some days being like, okay, maybe I'm not going to go to the gym, but I'm going to go take a walk,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
there's been days where I've done 20%, and it was really
yes,
hard to do, like on a day where I'm really down. But you know what? It's better than zero.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I get right back into the groove of things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what, today was about, just talking about getting through and like keep trying, like even if it's one step forward, two steps back, just like having the perseverance to not give up the second you hit like a hiccup or whatever, because
Right.
hiccups happen.
Oh, they're going to
We
happen in
hurt
everything.
ourselves, work stuff gets in the way.
Family stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I actually watched a Ed Milet video this morning and shared it with the team about like perseverance. It was really good. He talked about let's see if I can't quote him. It was way better the way
It's
he
okay.
said
Just
it.
get close to him.
But like essentially he said unsuccessful people n- are nervous to keep going because they want all of the knowledge before they proceed. And so they never proceed because you really can never
Okay.
have the knowledge. So like,
Right.
but successful people, he likened it to he coached a race car driver at one point, and the successful race car drivers, like if there's a crash right in front of them, their instinct might be to stop, but then they'll never win the race. So they have to keep going, push through the smoke, no matter what's on the other side. And so it's like that idea where even if you can't see it, if you just keep going, even if you don't have the knowledge, you don't know what's going to happen, you might fail. You need to go through the smoke, but it's very hard to do. Like
I
most
love
people,
that.
yeah.
That's
So it's
amazing.
like, so that's kind of like when I listened to that today, I related it to what we're talking about, because it's like keep going, even if you might fail. Like when I mean, I know that I'm going to be cycling through rough weeks.
Absolutely.
They will always come, and I never know when to expect them.
Well,
And it's like, I just have to know when those come. I don't feel like I know what's on the other side. I don't really know how I'm going to get to the other side, but I need to just like keep persevering through that,
right. That makes a
you
lot of
know?
sense. Like I
So,
have similar stuff. So I
yeah.
get distracted very easily, right? And my
Hmm.
object permanence, how things just don't exist if they're not in front of me. Like,
Yeah.
but making like, so like, I have to be comfortable and understand that I'm going to get distracted
Yeah.
and not beat myself up for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but
Yeah.
also
That
put in
makes sense.
failures,
Hmm.
or fail safes,
Yeah.
I think is what I
Hmm.
mean to say
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
to help avoid that too, right? Like it's not just,
Yeah,
I don't
like
just
you
get to
have
be away with
systems
it.
and like things in place to like
Yes.
keep you on track.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
Um, and so I get that.
Yeah,
I love that because I think those are the things that can like when we start the
derail you.
negative talk, yeah, right,
Yeah.
even farther.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that when you started like your barbershop, there was a
Oh my
huge
gosh.
amount of, because didn't COVID,
Yeah,
that was
so
around COVID time.
right.
Actually,
Well,
I
so
got
I
my
didn't
license around COVID time. So yeah,
right.
yeah,
So I started barbering
yeah.
and well, professionally
Uh-huh.
January
Yeah.
and COVID hit March.
Yeah.
And that was really hard because I was it was an uphill battle. Thankfully, I was in another shop
Yeah.
that was kind of established already, right?
Yes.
So they had
Yeah.
some walk-in traffic. I was able to benefit from that. But I mean, it was also we got shut down. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and this is a time I have an industry much like yours where in the beginning it's feast or famine,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's not you're either it's if you have to build up a clientele,
And it's
even
really hard to do because there's a million
absolutely.
barbers, there's a million
Oh yeah,
agents.
there's tons of people doing what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Tons of like
Yeah.
you can literally throw a stone from my barbershop and hit
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yes.
not so
Yeah.
it's not hard to find somebody else that does what
Mm-hmm.
I do. But I think also, that's why you have to it takes time to build up that clientele because like we were
Yeah.
talking about, you find your parade or your circus, your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was really rough when COVID was happening because it killed all social situations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Times
Yeah.
like now I go out, people see my shears and they go, "Oh, are you a barber?" Or "What
Mm-hmm.
do you do?" "Oh, I own a barber shop." "Oh, great,"
Yeah.
and then
But
it's just as
that
easy as
wasn't
that.
happening
No, so there was
for,
no one you
yeah.
could talk to, and I know a lot of people who gave up and just quit,
Yep.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, like there were other ways you could pivot, and like
Yeah.
there were a lot of things that made us scared about it because like Lyle has asthma, and he was in that
Mm-hmm.
area where they told us, your
Yes.
kid's gonna die if they're this kid, and
Yes.
so like that was
Yes.
insanely scary.
Yeah.
Um, but we still pushed through. I think,
Mm-hmm.
like you were talking about a second ago, about making mistakes and still
Yeah.
being persevered through and the learning side of things. It
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of a saying. I don't know who said it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one of my favorite sayings, and it says, or it goes by, "You either learn things by reading books or making mistakes." And I haven't read a lot of books.
Mm-hmm. Oh
You
yeah.
know, and I love that one
Absolutely.
for me specific because I don't read a lot.
Yeah.
Not that you should. People should read.
Right.
I wish I
Yeah.
read more. I'm not trying
Right.
to
But
say
that
it's,
only goes so far,
but right, and there
Yeah.
are like look at this podcast. There was something where we started out, and by this episode, you guys are hearing us on a third set of mics,
Mm-hmm.
completely different than
Yeah.
what we started on.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna be on our third set of lights after this one
Uh-huh.
because of the new setup I'm getting with that,
Yeah.
right? We'll
Yeah.
probably have a new background coming soon too,
Yeah.
all kinds of things like that. But and for reasons because we tried things and just
Mm-hmm.
jumped into it, right?
Yeah.
And said, okay, well, this doesn't work. How does this go? Somebody goes, oh, well, you look like you're on Mars. All right, we'll have to fix
Mm-hmm.
the lighting, and
Yeah.
thank you guys for sticking with us through all this as well, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But we could have got those, comments or compliment, they're not compliments,
Yeah. Yeah.
comments,
Uh-huh.
and said, well, we suck.
Let's just quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, maybe this isn't gonna work,
Yeah, that would not.
No.
And like even going into this, we'll make modifications and aim for improvements that maybe might be mistakes.
Right. Oh, 100%.
And then we'll learn from it, get back on track. Let's keep going. Let's find the solution here.
Right.
And, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's where and I think that's where, like, some people, it comes into the self-talk.
Hmm.
I know that I have adapted positive self-talk
Yeah.
because negative self-talk is very easy for me.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's very easy to come by, right? It's a huge, not convenience. What did they say?
Hmm.
Like, currency.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something I have no problem making. But it's reminding yourself of the good things you do and stuff like that. And sometimes we do need to pump ourselves up. I don't know if you ever do
Hmm.
this on this note, like,
Okay.
so I constantly will tell myself, through different situations,
Hmm.
like affirmations,
Yeah.
I think they're called.
Yes.
So like I have three that I say. I say I'm strong, I'm confident, I'm capable.
Yeah.
And those three, like in different moments, like if I'm lifting,
Hmm.
like and I go to like something I don't think I can lift, I'll say that
Hmm.
right beforehand. I'll kind of pump
Hmm.
myself up that way.
Yeah.
I'll say it on days I'm not feeling very good.
Yeah.
I'm having a low day, and I
Yeah.
don't feel very good about myself.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I goofed something up.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I maybe I didn't do an edit right, or somebody messaged me back about like maybe I missed an appointment. I mean, things that rarely ever happen, but like nonetheless, you get on top of yourself with something,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And those really help out a lot with that, and like keeping too, because I think we can talk a lot about just having to do it, right? And needing to. But I know that to give like pointers, like those are some of the things that help me with doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Is the like
Yeah.
reminding to tell myself and like the literally like I've looked in mirrors. I know it sounds dumb, but like sometimes it helps. Like if you're not
Right.
answering yourself, it's not like you're having I don't want to sell
Yes.
this wrong, like it's me
Yeah.
and Patricia talking, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you do have to look at yourself and be like, hey, you
Mm-hmm.
loser, you're all right. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like quit
Yeah.
being down on yourself,
Yes.
or like everything's gonna be all right. Like does it like and be honest, does it suck now? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Did you mess up? Yes. Did
Right.
you do, you know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah.
that's important too, is that if 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 you're feeling low or negative over a decision you made, whether it was intentional or not, and it turned out
Mm-hmm.
bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you have to acknowledge that,
Yeah.
right? And then that helps out with moving forward.
Mhm.
And I think that's something for me that has helped me with my persistence
Yeah.
is anytime like something's not working, I've had to go, okay, well, I'm the common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing different wrong?
Yeah.
What can I change?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the only person I can control is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of like for me, whenever I'm having an area where I feel like I'm hitting my head up against a wall, it's
Mm-hmm.
what can I do differently? And then not to say that I'm perfect, but if I think I'm doing everything within my capabilities,
Hmm.
who can I reach out
Yeah.
to help me
Mm-hmm.
achieve what I need to, right?
Right.
Whether it's my counselor, Gary, my Gare
Mm-hmm.
Bear, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, reached out,
Yeah. Yeah.
or a friend, because it's just something
Uh-huh.
smaller that
Yeah.
needs some venting, because
Mm-hmm.
like I think that's what, you got to look at levels, right? Is this
Mm-hmm.
a counselor situation or is this a friend over coffee,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Or even, do I just need to move,
Yeah.
or do I need to eat better? Because I
Mm-hmm.
haven't eaten anything.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's a big people eat.
Today you
That's such a
haven't?
big no. I've eaten today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
that
you know
made
what
me
I mean?
really
Like
sad.
I can't tell you how many times I've been like
Eat some more.
some waterfalls. That's lotion on the skin. That's what made me think when you said that.
Creepy.
But it's true, and so
Yeah.
those if you want like if you're sitting here and listening to this and you're hearing us say just do it and we're Nikeing you out, um
Mm-hmm.
and you need like what else could do it, like those would be some things I would suggest.
Yeah.
um Make some
That's great.
lists, write down, and if you're getting overwhelmed by things,
Mm-hmm.
if whatever you're trying to be persistent at, like with this podcast, there were a lot of things to start out, right? So we made lists. And I
Mm-hmm.
know for me that helped me out because then I could start checking it out. And one thing I've been working on is uh instead of getting overwhelmed by the whale,
Yeah.
realizing I just need to do a bite,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worrying
Yeah.
about the fact that I'm going to eat the whale.
Right.
I'm just going to worry about the bite that
It's
I
a
have in
little
front
bit
of
at
me.
a time. And that's really
Yeah.
hard for high achievers. I mean, when you say that, I relate. Like, it's really
Yeah.
difficult. And so sometimes I have a long list of my to-dos, and Mike will tell me, just pick your top three. And I'm like, no, like, that's again,
Yeah.
all or nothing.
Right, right. Yeah,
I
100%. You're like, no, but I need to do them
I'm either
all.
gonna take the day off or I need to do all of them. And Michael said, just pick three. I can't
Yeah.
pick three. They're all important.
Right.
But it's so true. Like,
It's
three is better than
better
like
than
being
nothing.
frozen and half-assing them all.
Right.
And so it's kind of the same idea. And with the podcast, like, you've taken the lead on the technology and the environment in the
Yeah.
podcast room. And I mean, to me, it looks like you've just done it all marvelously, but I know
Well, thank you.
that you have just tackled one thing at a time.
Yes.
And if something's not working, then just, okay, let's start over,
Right. We'll pivot.
because failure is feedback. And so if we fail, it's not really
Absolutely.
failing,
I don't feel
because
like it.
you then have feedback on how you can make something better. Like,
Right.
that's a gift.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, like I've always like something I've talked about with girlfriends and stuff like that is like not only can I be oblivious sometimes, but also
Yeah.
like if there's something wrong, tell me.
Yeah.
Because like I can't fix something I don't know isn't
Mm-hmm.
broken.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Like asking for and being open to constructive
right.
criticism, or
Being
checking
open
my
is
blind
big part
spots,
too.
or
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's
A lot of people aren't open to it. So that's why I mentioned that.
no, no, that's I wanted to point on that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
because that's the thing. Like you're right. Like you have to be open to it. I think that's a lot of people miss that too. Like I know some
Yeah.
people who are like, "Oh, I love constructive criticism." And I'm like, "What do you?"
It can be
Because
painful.
right, well, it
It
can
can be
be. Yeah, you have
painful.
to swallow it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
but yeah, those are things that help me. I mean, one thing I think about persistence people need to remember, and like I think we've said a lot, and I just want to
Hmm.
keep saying it, pounding home, is that failure is part of it.
Yeah.
Failure is part
Hmm.
of it.
Run
And
towards it.
if you're not failing, you're not trying,
Right.
honestly, because if you're sitting at home doing nothing, I mean, you're failing at life, in my opinion. But,
Hmm.
I mean, if you don't try, like, if you're not joining a competition, you can't fail, right? But you also can't win.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, to fail is a great thing. It's a great thing.
Hmm. Yep.
I mean,
New mindset.
yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I love it. It's a huge part of being a business owner and an athlete, in my
Agreed.
opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and even a
um,
parent. I mean, how many times as a parent have you sat there and been like, this is going to
hmm.
be great? And then you were like, oh God, this was
Hmm.
so horrible. Like
I think
Jurassic
that's
Park was mine.
my, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my area of focus next is just, yeah, developing into a better mom,
Yeah.
because it's the most challenging thing I've ever done for sure.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh, I can only
yeah. And the
imagine.
most important thing.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Hmm.
And it is challenging. I think being a parent is super challenging in its own right. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially that's one of those areas you try your best in. And every now and then you go,
Hmm.
well, I'm going to pay for counseling for that later.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. We all have stuff though. So I'm sure parenting will be a future episode. And if anyone writes in on their parenting
I
stories,
would love to hear that. Yeah.
I'm definitely down to hear
Write your
those.
parenting stories in to the Real
Yeah.
Cut Podcast at gmail.com. So you can keep plugging that. I want to hear all the
Absolutely.
stories.
All of
Yes.
the things.
Yes. Silly stories, evil stories. Were you a child in the walls? We want to know.
Hmm. A Child in the Walls.
No, so this is another movie for you to
Oh,
watch. Oh, so they're gonna remake it. It's another like 80s, 90s. Like,
cool.
yeah, no, Children in the Walls, I
Okay.
think is what it's called. Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh,
it's
I
like a
have so
classic.
many good Halloween movie. Is it scary? Is it
Yeah,
freaky?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. I know, yeah. I mean, Children in the Walls.
I mean, it does sound freaky for sure.
I think it's
Absolutely. All
Children in the
right.
Walls. Is that a movie?
Check
The
and
the
see.
people under the stairs. They are children in the walls, though. I mean, like
Okay,
you'll get
okay.
why. I
Oh,
mean,
that
this is their
sounds chilling.
Olyism, but you'll see what I mean. I don't want to explain too much, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like you'll see where I got to that.
yeah.
But it is the people under the stairs.
Okay, that
It
definitely
came
that sounds
1991.
chilling as yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
All
good.
right.
I mean, I don't want to oversell it, but
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
might
right.
actually watch that tonight.
Perfect. Okay. I am too.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today.
yeah. It's been another fun podcast as always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight at the Real Cut Podcast.